Welcome to a realm where personal growth meets expansive spirituality and where we're not just scratching the surface. We're diving deep, widening our perspectives, and having a darn good time doing it. This is the Enlightened Podcast, and I am your host, Jen Hamilton. You'll enjoy an infusion of motivation, empowerment, and inspiration that will resonate in every aspect of your life. Expect captivating stories, heartfelt musings, and my own personal experiences. But that's not all. I'm bringing awe-inspiring individuals to the table, so get ready to meet some remarkable souls whose wisdom and stories will leave you spellbound. No topic is off limits here. Brace yourself for raw authenticity, unfiltered vulnerability, and yes, the occasional splash of explicit language. We're delving into the realms of the esoteric, mystical, and the woo-woo, unafraid to explore the extraordinary. So if you are ready to venture beyond the surface, to explore the depths of your soul, and to awaken the magic of life, if your heart says yes, then hit that play button and let the Enlightened Podcast guide you on this remarkable expedition. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of the Enlightened Podcast. I'm your host, Jen, here with episode 100. I am so freaking excited that I have made it to 100 episodes, and this actually wraps up the final episode for season 2. And I've just been reflecting before I press that magical record button because I have had so many incredible guests. I have been so honored to interview some amazing people and thought leaders around the world. And honestly, it's such an honor to be able to hold this space. And I just want to extend my deepest gratitude for the listeners out there, because this podcast is not possible without people listening to it and tuning in. Honestly, it gets me so excited to look at the stats when they come through every week and just see how many people are impacted by these conversations, where the podcast is being listened to all around the world. And it warms my heart that this message of living the enlightened journey of life has been able to reach so many people. And I put the call out on my personal and the Enlightened Podcast Instagram social media a couple of weeks ago to do a bit of a Q&A to wrap up this season, as they're always fun. And this time round, I actually set up an anonymous link that people could send their messages into, which was quite interesting because I'm just going to grab my phone and read out some of the questions. So some of them are legitimate. There seems to be so many questions around my dating life. So are you looking to date right now? I should take you out on a date. I got quite a few messages from someone saying, can you reply to my text? I'm nervous to ask you out. You're so cute. Like I don't know who these messages are from because it's an anonymous link. So the person that said, can you reply to my text? I still don't know who you are. But it was really heartwarming to receive some actual questions that people wanted answered around the enlightened journey of life. And also I get that people want to know about my personal life as well, because I share a lot of my personal experience on my Instagram and my Facebook stories. And, there's been parts of the conversations that I've had on here through interviews where I've shared about dating and relationships and where I'm at in life. And so, of course, I'll give you a bit of an update. And, whilst I like to maintain privacy in my personal life, because I feel that, the connections that I do have, in my dating life are very private and very sacred. I will say that at time of going to air, I'm not single and I'm not available, and I'm just going to leave it there, just to honor the sacred journey that I'm on at the moment. So although that might sound a little bit cagey, it's just the place that I'm in right now that I just need to honor where I am at the moment. So I hope that clears up any of the questions that came through about my dating life. One of the other questions that came through was, who is my favorite artist? I actually love this question because I have many favorite artists. So the word artist is actually quite a broad term, because it doesn't necessarily mean someone that creates like paintings or digital art. It can also be the art of words, the art of tantra, which I've been studying recently, or it could be the art of song and music and dance as well. So one of my favorite artists is a beautiful soul called Izzy Ivy. Her oracle card deck is called Beyond Lemuria, and I am obsessed with the art that she creates and what she channels as well. I highly recommend going to give her Instagram page a follow. Just search Izzy Ivy Art and you'll see some of the most gorgeous pieces that she has been creating. As far as the written word, I'm actually a huge fan of the poet Atticus, and my all-time favorite quote by him is "Love her but leave her wild." And I've been really called to get the tattoo of just "Leave her wild" on my body somewhere. It hasn't happened yet, but it may happen in the future. So I hope that answers that question for you. Another question that came through was, how do I know when to walk away from a toxic relationship? My perspective on this is, if you already know that this relationship is toxic for you, then it's already time to walk away. So sure, all relationships have their stuff. All relationships go through their growth periods and their time of disharmony at the best of times. If you already have awareness that things are toxic in the relationship already, then perhaps it's time to pack up and hightail it out there. Now, sure, you can sit down and you can go through with your partner what it is that you're experiencing, express your feelings, express what it is that you need. However, the word toxic tells me that it's not going to get any better because you're feeling as though your needs are not being met, that your values are not aligning, and that something is happening within the dynamic within your relationship that is not fulfilling you. Sometimes these things can be worked through. So sometimes, working with a coach or working with a counselor can really support you. But like I said, if it's already got to the point of being toxic, then it's probably best to look at the options to start to dissolve that relationship. Next question is, what was your pivotal moment of your awakening and how did it change your life? I love this question. I've had so many pivotal moments in my awakening journey. Usually they have come through major things happening in my life. So one of the biggest times of my life was when I became a mother, and I have two beautiful children. Other times have been through working with sacred plant medicine like acacia and ayahuasca, which is the grandmother spirit. It is a psychedelic plant medicine, which, is done in a beautiful ceremonial space. And, with the support of these plant medicines, it really helps to deeply excavate what is in the subconscious and hold up a mirror or hold up, the shadow parts of you that you're refusing to look at, to be able to help you see clearly to move forward into certain areas of your life that ultimately, are the path that you're meant to be on. I truly believe that the plants are our allies. And every single time I have sat in ceremony with these beautiful medicines of the earth, I have had such a profound journey and experience and so many awakenings through the process as well. I can't even still get into human words what actually can transpire from sitting with plant medicine. And if you are called to work with these psychedelic medicines, follow that calling. You'll start to notice that if you feel called to work with these medicines, they will find you. And I've always been told, the medicine comes to us. You'll hear someone say, perhaps they've done a journey before and they want to invite you into their plant family. It's not something that you can just Google and be like, oh, cool, I'm just going to go to this weekend ceremony. However, there are some cowboys in the industry. So let it be known that if there are things that you can just go along to, and you're not invited into a space, or if it feels like it's like a backyard environment, or it's out of integrity with, the highest reverence and respect for the medicine, then it's somewhere that you really should not be in that sacred space. And, some of the pivotal moments that I've had in my life have come through simple conversation with friends or lovers or relatives to realize things that perhaps I had created a story or a narrative around that had me seeing people a certain way or seeing myself a certain way, which actually wasn't true. And I had this happen recently where I was in conversation with a friend and I'd expressed how I'd felt. It was about 5 years ago when we'd had this experience and I felt really hurt by this particular person. And at the time, I didn't actually have the confidence or the self-worth to speak up for myself. I just cut off the relationship. I blocked them and I tried to get on with my life because I was in so much pain thinking this person had done the wrong thing by me. Now, fast forward when we'd reconnected, 5 years later, I brought up this conversation to say, hey, look, this is what happened for me a few years ago. This is how I felt because of what I had been told had transpired in a particular conversation. And they turned around and said to me, and they said, I can't believe you thought that because that's not actually what had happened. Another person had relayed some information, which was completely out of alignment with the truth. And I'd created this narrative, this whole story around this other person. And like, it just all went to shit. And everything comes out in the wash, everything comes out eventually. And so I had such a pivotal moment during this conversation because I realized that whole time 5 years ago was actually based on a lie. It was never actually the truth of the situation. And I'd got myself into such a tizzy about it. And so, through opening this dialogue and having this open communication with this particular person, we're able to see both sides of the story with what happened and come to an awareness of what the actual truth was and be able to move forward together in a positive way. So sometimes those pivotal moments are simply just conversations with people, and they can be so powerful, which is why I'm always banging on about how important open communication is, because it gets you places. It gets you clarity, it gets you understanding, it gets you moving forward. It doesn't keep you stuck or in your story or a narrative that holds you back. And it's such a powerful thing to know that you can express yourself authentically. Another question that came through, which I really love, is what daily practices do you recommend for maintaining a conscious lifestyle? Now, just because there are certain things that work for me doesn't mean that they're going to work for everybody. So, what I invite you to do is find what makes you feel good, what makes you feel as though you are starting your day and checking in with yourself throughout the day and closing out your day with what feels supportive and nourishing to you. And I'm huge on values. I have a free resource called Visualize Your Values on my website, which is at jenhamilton.coach. And it is a workbook and a meditation to help you find your values and how you can integrate those into your everyday life and live inspired and aligned with your values. And so for me, some of my daily practices are checking in with my values every morning and asking myself how I can embody those into my day every single day. I have little post-it notes all around my house as well. So I have post-it notes on my mirror in the bathroom. I have post-it notes on my fridge. I have what I call my creed on my shower window as well. And I've got some other poems on there as well. And I read those when I'm in the shower because it is a beautiful reminder every day to just drop into that energy and essence of who I am, what I want to do in this life, who I want to be, how I want to show up, and what I want to create in this world. And having that daily reminder, reading it in the shower every day, I have found to be so supportive. I also love things like ceremonial cacao, journaling, dancing, singing, and being really mindful when it comes to the food that I'm eating, what I'm putting in my body, the movement I'm ensuring that my body gets every day. And I'm also really mindful of who I'm letting into my field as well. So the conversations that I'm having, the people that I'm surrounding myself with, and just being so mindful of where your energy is going. Because if you're constantly pouring out and you're feeling as though your energy is drained by other people that you're around or the places that you're going, then it's really time to do some life stock take and just check in with yourself as to whether this is nourishing and sustainable for you and whether some changes need to be made. Other daily practices that I have are making sure that I'm going to bed at a reasonable hour. I really am enjoying lately is 4:30 club. So waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Sometimes it doesn't happen every day. I'm still in the adjustment phase of that, especially because I've been traveling in the last week. So my body clock's a little bit out at the moment. But finding that I'm having a morning routine where I'm getting up at a certain time, I'm getting out of bed, feeling inspired, looking for all of the ways in which I'm grateful and I'm excited for the day ahead. And then having my cacao or doing my journaling or meditating and really just connecting in with who I want to be in this world. And I find that really sets me up for the day ahead. I find that even though I'm waking up earlier, I'm having more energy because I'm more focused on what it is that I do want to experience as opposed to what it is that I don't want to be experiencing. Another daily practice for me is, especially when I'm in front of the computer a lot, so whether I'm seeing clients or whether I'm writing content or writing for Brains magazine, I love just stopping, having a stretch, having a dance. Like, there is nothing better than putting on a freaking amazing tune and just dancing around the house to it. It is probably the most underrated thing, and something that I recommend to absolutely everyone to try, because who wants to be stuck just working all the time or just focus on one particular thing or getting all the bits and pieces done? It's time to bring in some dance and movement into your day and a little bit of fun. Have some time to laugh, have some time to take some deep breaths, have some time to just feel so connected to yourself and get outside, put your feet on the earth, connect to nature. Like, we weren't born to just like work and pay taxes and die. Like, fuck that. Get out there and live your life. Plan some adventures, plan some exciting things in your life, have things to look forward to. All of these things can make such a difference in your life, and have you feeling more empowered to live a conscious life. Another question that came through is, what does true liberation mean to you, and how can one achieve it? Another amazing question. I absolutely love this because, liberation, like success, like happiness, liberation is a subjective perspective. So ultimately, you get to decide what that is for you. For me, liberation is being able to think for myself and speak my truth wholeheartedly, be in the fullest expression of myself, give zero fucks about what other people think about me, and do the things that light me up. Now, this is going to look different for everybody. And this is why the work that I do, I feel, is so important, because we help to excavate the subconscious and the layers in which we find are holding people back, that stop them from living fully in their liberation and fully in their awareness and fully in their authentic divine selves. And I'm so passionate about this because as soon as I essentially woke up to what liberation was for me, and that in that space, I found the depths of what pleasure could look like, the depths of what unconditional love looked and felt like, the depths of what inspiration was like. There was just everything that I ever desired in my whole entire life opened up when I became liberated. And that happened through deciding that I wanted to be the fullest expression of myself and that nothing was going to get in my way. And every block that I thought that I had, every condition that I thought I had to put on myself, every single thing that tried to push me down, I broke through those barriers. And sometimes it's freaking hard work to do. That's why you have a coach like someone like myself to help you move through this. There's plenty of books out there. There's so many other podcasts to listen to out there. Whatever it is that you're called to do, follow that. Follow the thing that inspires you to get liberated, because I'm telling you now, life is fucking magical when you are liberated. So I'm going to wrap up the Q&A there. It's been really fun to answer some of your questions, and I wanted to close out this season with an exciting giveaway. Now, you can find all of the details on the Enlifen Podcast Instagram page. So if you head over there, you will see a post with how you can win a gift pack. So in order to be part of this giveaway, all you need to do is leave a rating and review on your favorite podcasting platform. And then you can also send us through a message straight from Spotify. Now, what you need to do is take a screenshot of the message that you send through or the rating and review that you leave. Send it through to the Enlifen Podcast Instagram page, so Enlifen_podcast, to show that you've done that, and you will go in the draw to win a beautiful Enlifen gift pack. And I'm so excited for this. Now, just to let you know, it is only open to Australian residents due to it being posted out. So even if you're not in Australia, please, please, please leave a rating and review. Send us your message. We always love to hear from you. And the closing date for this giveaway is the 31st of August, 2014. So you've got plenty of time. So you'll need to get your entry in by then. So all of the details will be on the Instagram page. So keep an eye out for that. I want to wrap this up by saying thank you again to all of our amazing listeners all around the world, all of the most incredible guests that I've had on the show. We are going to take a little break between seasons, and season 3 is going to be epic. I have some amazing things in store. So I can't wait to bring you so many more inspiring stories and interviews and solo snippets. So thank you again for being here. It is my absolute honor to be the host of this podcast, and I'll see you for season 3. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope you love the Enlifen podcast, and the biggest compliment you can give me is subscribing to this podcast, sharing it, and leaving a rating and review. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is @JenHamiltonOfficial and the podcast handle is enlightened_podcast. You can also find the video version on YouTube on my channel. Just search Enlightened and don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a beautiful day and enjoy living the enlightened journey of life.